We are in the Meteorology and Oceanography Conference at CTICC in Cape Town, which is hosted by NRF-SAEON. And with me, I'm with the Managing Director of NRF-SAEON, Dr. Mary-Jane, who I'll allow to introduce herself. Doctor, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Nampendulo, and hello everyone. I am Mary-Jane Bopape, as mentioned, the Managing Director of the South African Environmental Observation Network. SAEON is one of the business units of the NRF. We are managed as a national facility, although we have not yet been declared as one. And we focus on long-term monitoring of the environment.
Doctor, can you please tell us more about the conference that we're here for?
All right, so we are meeting here for the 14th International Conference on Southern Hemisphere Meteorology and Oceanography. This is the 14th conference since the start of this series of conferences, which were started by the American Meteorological Society. The very first conference was held in 1983 in Brazil.
Wow.
And the idea with these conferences is that they should be focusing on the science of the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
And in terms of hosting these conferences, they go to different countries. So countries have to raise their hands and actually volunteer to host the conference.
Okay.
So in terms of South Africa, the last conference which was held here was in 1997, which means
Wow.
the last time we had this conference here in South Africa was 28 years ago, so basically almost 30 years. And this time around, we decided, as the NRF, working very closely with the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, that it was really time that this conference comes to South Africa. In terms of timing, we think it's perfect timing because it happens to coincide with South Africa being the presidency of the G20.
Yes, yes. Can you please tell us about the main objectives of this conference?
Yeah, so I'll start by just giving two examples of differences between the Southern Hemisphere and Northern Hemisphere.
Okay.
So first, in the Southern Hemisphere, we've got a lot more ocean compared to the Northern Hemisphere. The Northern Hemisphere has more land. Then if you look at the weather systems, in the Northern Hemisphere, when you have cyclones, they go in an anticyclonic motion, while in the Southern Hemisphere, cyclonic motion. That actually means that if you are a scientist and you study in the Northern Hemisphere, it's actually not very easy to transition to work in another hemisphere. So as a result, we are finding that there are not a lot of scientists that focus on the Southern Hemisphere because there are a lot more scientists in the global North, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So we've got much fewer scientists that focus on the Southern Hemisphere. So through this conference, we are able to get experts, not only those that are based in the Southern Hemisphere, but those that are also in the Northern Hemisphere, but who are interested in working, looking at the science of the Southern Hemisphere. We get together so that we can see where we are in terms of the state of knowledge, in terms of the state of science, in terms of the technology that we have got available for us to be able to understand, our advancements. Yes. So this conference is really important in that way, that we sit and we say, where are we as the Southern Hemisphere? There are studies that have indicated in the past, with seasonal forecasting as an example, or numerical weather prediction, that the Southern Hemisphere is a little bit behind compared to the Northern Hemisphere. And one of the reasons is actually that we've got a lot sparse observation network compared to the Northern Hemisphere. So this conference allows us to focus on the Southern Hemisphere, while if we go to let's say a conference that's supposed to focus across the whole globe, you will find that there is very little that comes out that speaks to the Southern Hemisphere. So that's really why it's important. We need this conference to focus on Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the clarity. Now I understand more. So what are you looking forward to this whole conference?
It's an exciting one because we've managed to bring in a number of side events.
Okay.
Just starting, say, on Sunday. Sunday we had a welcome reception, which was hosted by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. I mentioned when we started that in terms of the hosting, it's NRF and the DSTI that are leading in terms of the hosting, but then the DFFE actually coming forward to host the pre-conference dinner tells you that there's a very good relationship between these two departments, and these two departments see this area around meteorology and oceanography as really important. So I think first that was really the highlight for me of the conference. On Monday morning, we saw the Deputy Minister of the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation coming to open the conference, Ms. Nomalungelo Gina, who came, opened the conference. Everybody was excited, and then she also managed to engage with school learners. So on Monday for the opening, we also invited school learners from non-fee paying schools in Kaili. So there were learners from 2 schools that we had. They spent the day with us so that they could engage with the renowned scientists that we have around here. So that also, for me, was really interesting. And then yesterday, Tuesday, we had a science to policy session. We had representation from SALGA, South African Local Government Agency. So through this COVID, we've basically taken advantage of having some of these scientists, the experts, come here to deal with some of the issues so that we can understand more and also think about how science really assists with decision making, with policy development. And then today, the Wednesday, the morning, we had the conference continuing to run, but then as part of hosting G20, we are also host of the Ocean 20. So we had a session to host to launch the Ocean 20. So we will see as the year progresses some activities that will go towards that. We will attend events. We will run some events that will go into that, where we'll be looking at sustainable oceans. Then this evening we are going to open the conference basically to the public. We've got the public at the moment. I think last I checked, they said we had around 240 people that have confirmed to come and engage with the scientists. So that you can actually have that conversation between the public and the scientists and have that knowledge exchange, because we are not saying the scientists have the knowledge, and we are not saying we are coming just to give the knowledge, but we are saying there's knowledge both sides, and then let's exchange so that we can come up with sustainable solutions for the issues that we are experiencing. Then on Friday, we have a session that's going to focus on the graduate. It's hosted by the Graduate Student Network of SAEON, where we are going to be engaging the early career scientists, the postgraduate students, and then we will be sharing with them opportunities we have available within the NRF, within SAEON, and then we will allow a conversation to take place so that they can talk about the challenges that they experience.
Wow. I also had a lot of fun because I experienced some of the events that you're mentioning, and we're looking forward to tonight seeing the community engaging with the scientists. So do you have any closing remarks or advice to the delegates in the conference and those who are not here and wish to be here next time, one day? Maybe after 30 years again.
After 30 years. I think first with the I'd say the early career scientists, the young scientists that are here, first that they should not feel shy to approach these scientists that they would normally, they would download their papers, they would read, and there would not be that opportunity to engage with them physically. So those people are here, and the young scientists should really make use of the opportunity to speak to them. And then to others who are not here, I just want to say the Southern Hemisphere is exciting. If you are thinking about research opportunities, research questions, come to the Southern Hemisphere, focus on the Southern Hemisphere. There's actually a lot of research questions that we need to answer. In terms of the biodiversity we have in the region, there's still so much that we do not know because of this vast ocean that we have. So